Welcome to your journey of healing with the Healing Podcast, hosted by licensed clinician Monique Owe and co-host Dr. Amber Moan.
Thank you for tuning into the Healing Podcast. I am your host, Monique Owe. My co-host, Dr. Moan, is not here today, but I just wanted to come on really quick and just talk about something. I wanted to talk about when we feel like life has kind of passed us by, feeling like by now certain things should have happened and they have not. For example, maybe you're at a certain age and you feel like by now you should have been married, or maybe by now you should have had children, or by now you should have been more successful in your career and more financially stable. I want to talk about that, feeling like I should be further along in life. So first, let me just highlight life happens, right? If we could have perfection, we would choose it, but perfection does not exist. And sometimes in life, what happens is things happen that we have control over sometimes, and sometimes things that we don't have control over. And it sets us back per se. And I don't even know if I want to say it's a setback, but things happen that causes something that we may have had planned not to occur. For example, if you are at a certain age and you feel like by now you should have been married, well, let's look at what happened in your life. Maybe you chose school. Maybe you went to school. Maybe you graduated high school, went to college. Maybe you went to grad school, professional school. Maybe you're a doctor or a lawyer right now, and maybe a professor. And because you were so focused on your career and education, some relationships didn't succeed. Not saying it was a fault of yours, but maybe at that time the person could not match your drive or what your focus was. You were so focused on school to be successful, right? And that's okay. Trust me, there's nothing wrong with that. But that at that time, the relationship wasn't a focus, and maybe you didn't even date. Maybe you were so focused on finishing school that you didn't date. You were focused. So now that you are now in your career, you want that relationship. You want to be married, or you want to have children, and that's okay. You're feeling like I missed out. You didn't miss out. You didn't miss out. So some causes to that, like I said, is life. Maybe your path was you were focused on career and focused, you weren't dating. Or let's say maybe something else happened. Maybe you were dating and the person you were dating, and maybe you guys were about to get married. Maybe they passed away. Maybe that happened. That's why you're not married right now. You dealt with that grief, and maybe now you've done pretty well with the grief. So, but it caused you not to want to be serious in a relationship yet. You wanted to heal. So right now you find yourself that you're not married. Or maybe some type of trauma happened to you, right? Maybe you had a loss. Maybe you were homeless at some point and you just had to focus on getting your life back in order before you decided to date anyone serious, right? And then we have those negative relationships. Maybe we had some relationships that were not ideal. While we were in it, we were okay with it. It was fulfilling us for the moment, but then we realized we needed something else. And here we are now, where you might feel like my life should be in a different space, but maybe not right now, right? Financially, if you're in a predicament and you feel like my finances should be better, well, maybe before you were making some decisions that weren't that great for your finances because you had to survive. Like maybe you maxed out credit cards and you always lived paycheck to paycheck, and maybe you borrowed a lot of money from people and it was a struggle to pay back and your credit suffered, but now you're in a better predicament. Now you are. So you're making up for those things, and you might have already repaired those things. You paid people back. Your credit score is better. But now you're in a place where you can make a better financial decision. You're more financially stable now than you were before. Before, you might have been influenced more about rapid decision making, just moving on the fly. But now you're like more settled, and you're thinking, okay, now now that I really understand my finances and I want to save money, I can save money because I make a better salary. Then this is where you are right now. Right? Maybe it was your health. Another reason why we feel our life should be in a different places. Maybe it was your health. Maybe you got sick or ill, and that condition kind of took a bit of a toll. So you had to adjust some things, readjust some things so that you could just basically live and function. So other things got put on the back burner. And what I want to say, the causes of these things is just life sometimes, right? Now, sometimes it is our decision making. Sometimes we make poor decisions and it sets us back, and then we realize I should do that differently, and now you're doing things differently. So one, the cause is life, really. We can't control everything, right? We have to accept where we are and move forward from there. If there's something you don't like about where you are, what steps can you make to change it? The effects of worrying about this too much is that it can cause you really to doubt yourself and to feel down and feel like you're not enough, like you're not good enough, like you're not pretty enough or handsome enough, or you don't have the confidence, people don't really like you. It can cause you to really doubt yourself, to feel like you won't ever get the things that you desire, right? When you kind of focus too much on your life not being where you think it should have been by now. And then it can keep you stagnant because you'll be so focused on what's not happening versus what is happening that you will stay stuck because you'll be beating yourself up. So that is the cause of those things happening, The cause of those things is that we end up beating ourselves up too much, not giving ourselves some grace that life happened. Now we're in a different space. We wanted to change, and we're going to make those steps, and those changes. So, to kind of deal with those things, what I want to say to you is basically realize you might think your life was supposed to be in a better place. That's an assumption. It's not a guarantee. But let's recognize where your life is now. And maybe you're right where you need it to be for now, just for now, because you have gained wisdom, you have gained knowledge, you have gained your education, you have made better financial choices now because now you're making better decisions. Or now you're realizing, I want to stop making poor decisions. This is where your life is now. So first step is look at where you are now. Are you satisfied career-wise? Okay, then let's look into dating. Are you going out? Are you putting yourself out there to date, to approach people? If you're a woman and you want the man to approach you, okay, are you in places where men will approach you? Are you approachable? Like, are you smiling? Are you out? Are you just kind of never leaving the house? Well, if you never leave the house, I'm not saying you can't meet the one. Maybe he could be someone delivering something to your house, but sometimes we got to just go out just a little bit to meet people, right? Even the one that's the one. Are you approaching the woman that you like? Have you seen her and now you feel like that's who I kind of want to like do? Are you at least approaching her and letting her know? Don't assume that you don't have a chance with a person. You won't know until you try. Second, financially, if you're there and you feel like I wasn't where I needed to be financially, now I am, well, just keep saving your money. Keep saving your money now, or now that you have enough money, go make that purchase of something that you wanted. Just now you know how to manage it. Now you're not going to overdo it. You're not going to buy something that you can't afford. You're going to buy what you can afford. Make sure that this purchase or this financial decision won't cause you to use all of your savings. It won't cause you to go into your emergency fund. You will still be able to pay all your bills and pay this extra bill, right? So understand, look at the past as a teachable moment or teachable moments. You now have gained experience. You know how when you're in grade school, they teach you stuff in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and what you learn in second grade, in third grade, now you're good because you already know what you knew in second grade. Each year is a teachable moment. Each life experience is teachable. It's teaching. We hopefully have learned from it. We will make a better choice from there. So I would say your life is probably right where it needs to be. And whatever change you want to come forward, you're going to start making it now. So do an inventory. If you want a relationship, go ahead. Let's look at a relationship. If you want children, maybe you couldn't have children earlier for various reasons. I mean, yes, you can have the option for surrogates and going to sperm banks for donors. Maybe that wasn't the case for you. So right now, let's look at, are you in a relationship now? Does that person want children? Do you want to adopt? Maybe you're in a situation where you could not have children for whatever reason, but are you in a predicament now where you can adopt? Maybe you're beating yourself up because maybe you had your children early and you feel like, well, that kind of slowed my life down a little bit because I had to focus my life on my children, which is great and it's fine. And as an adult and parent, you should. But now you're like, okay, what do I want to do now? So one, it's realizing your life is where it needs to be for right now. You're now going to do an inventory about the things you need to change and do those things to change it, right? If you're a lady, maybe you do want to go into fertility clinics and realize, do I want to freeze some eggs? Do I want a surrogate? Do I want to adopt? If you're a man, are you ready to date seriously so that you can have a family? Are you ready for that now? Are you dating to find that woman? Do you know what kind of woman you want? If you're financially, it was an issue, are you in a better predicament now, right? Do you need to apply to a better job? Did you go get a certification? And if you did, now are you applying in that area where your certification is in or for? Are you saving your money? Are you not spending it all the time on going out and social events, right? Have you healed from past things that have gotten in the way, past traumas, life disasters, things that happen? Are you giving yourself time to heal? Are you in therapy? Maybe I'm always going to promote therapy and going to a therapist, because they can help you get things in order, or a life coach to help you organize some things so that you can make good decisions. My whole point here is, ladies and gentlemen, is that life happens. We may feel like it's a setback, but I always say it's a setback for a comeback. That slingshot, you got to kind of pull that thing all the way back for that rock to propel forward, and that's what it is. Those things, you were like in a slingshot, and you're about to propel forward. So I want you to stop beating yourself up. Stop comparing your life to others, thinking that you should be in a different place. No, you're right where you need to be for now, because you're still learning, and now you're like a sponge. You have absorbed things, and now you're ready to release all that you have learned. So I hope that helps you to know there's nothing wrong with you because you're maybe in your 40s and you don't have a spouse yet or children yet. That is okay. There's nothing wrong with you. You have your career now. Now you'll be able to provide the life for your children that you wanted to provide. Stop beating yourself up thinking that you missed out on someone. If that person is meant to be in your life, I'm a firm believer they'll come back or they would have been there. Sometimes who we think is the person we're supposed to be with, that's not who we were really supposed to be with. Give yourself some grace, some patience, some understanding. Forgive yourself for past decisions. Hold yourself accountable, which I believe you are doing, right? And now go forward and make a better choice. If you need to make amends and that's what's keeping you stuck because maybe it was something you need to kind of apologize for, go apologize. And that's it. You've apologized, you've done your part. It's up to that person to then forgive you. But if your part is you need to apologize for that thing so you can let that thing go. And stop letting the past beat up on you. We all make mistakes. The thing is now we're not making that mistake. So the past is the past. If you've been held accountable or you've said sorry, the only thing you can do then is to move forward. I hope that was helpful. I just wanted to come on and say that to you. So when we feel like our life is not where it needs to be, I want to let you know it probably is right where it should be. Thank you for tuning into the Healing Podcast. Remember, if you ever want to write into the Healing Podcast, we want you to go to thehealingpodcast.com and hit the contact tab. You can go ahead and write us there, or you can email support@thehealingpodcast.com. And a mention to our sponsor, which is healingexpressionsllc.com. If you're looking for therapeutic services and would like to book a session in the Atlanta, or if you're in the Georgia area, go ahead and hit that healingexpressionsllc.com and hit the contact tab and try to book a session today. All right, so back into our topic. Today, I did not do a situation. Dr. Moan is not here, my counterpart with the situation today. So I just wanted to come on. This is just like a bonus episode to give you guys something to think about and to ponder upon. And what I do want to do, I always want to leave you with something inspirational to go by, and just want to leave you with something so you guys can think about some things to help you. And that is, so far, you've survived 100% of your worst days. This too shall pass. So far, you've survived 100% of your worst days. This too shall pass. So I hope that is helpful. I hope that was helpful to you today. Thank you for being a support for the Healing Podcast. Remember to like, share, subscribe to episodes, talk about it, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.